A woman who said the White House would smell like curry if Kamala Harris won, who has insisted for years that 9/11 was an inside job, and who described herself as a, quote, proud Islamophobe, is now apprised of scheduled top-secret briefings and apparently holds veto power over who gets access to classified briefings. We're talking about Trump associate Laura Loomer. This week, Senator Mark Warner said he was blocked from a scheduled oversight meeting at a spy agency after interference from the far-right activist. Loomer doesn't hold any official position at the White House, but has appointed herself as the de facto defender of all things Trump. Here's what Warner had to say this morning to our colleague Ali Velshi.
We have got individuals. In my case, it was the crazy lady Laura Loomer, 9/11 denier, hater of Muslims, hang out with white nationalists, who is so crazy that the Trumps wouldn't even hire her. Yet she has had the most influence in national security. She came after me the last week, which is fine, but she was able to preclude me from doing my normal of the course oversight.
Joining us now, Evan McMorris Santoro, national politics reporter for Notice, and Josh Gundelman, an Emmy-winning writer and comedian who has a new special, Positive Reinforcement, that you can watch on YouTube right now. We all need some positive reinforcement in our lives, I think.
Except Laura Loomer.
Yeah, especially after this.
Laura Loomer needs a lot more than positive reinforcement.
Evan, so what do you make of Senator Warner calling Laura Loomer the de facto Secretary of War?
Well, I think what's fascinating about this Mark Warner thing specifically is that there was a time where if you were a person that stopped a senior senator from doing his oversight duties, other senior senators would step in and defend that.
Well,
right?
and they also would cut off your agency's funding.
That's right. I mean, this is a huge sort of place where the two branches are supposed to meet up. Warner seems to be out there all on his own, which speaks to the power of Laura Loomer, right? Like when she does things, other people in MAGA world, other people in Trump's orbit and the Republican Party, they kind of all shake and back away. They don't want to get involved. But this is a real instance where you're seeing a senior, very powerful, important U.S. senator trying to do the job that they're supposed to do, not being able to do it because of Laura Loomer. And it speaks a lot to how this party and this president, operates in this moment.
So
right?
why aren't they just letting her get a job in the administration then? Why does she still have to lurk sort of on the outside?
Well, I think she's more valuable to them outside, right? I mean, last time I was here, we talked a bit about her before, and I mentioned that in our reporting, we have found that, White House people in the president's orbit will tell you, hey, Loomer's about to do this to somebody. Loomer's about to do there are conversations around this, right? What is powerful action for them?
What is that power that she has? I mean, I guess as somebody, besides just being a troll on the internet and who has demonstrated that she's going to go to the bottom of a garbage dump to troll whoever she wants, like the way she has with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I have no love for. What power does she actually have? Why do people listen to her? Why do people care about Laura Loomer out of all of the voices that exist in the world?
Oh, this is a great question, because it is really terrifying, right? Like you said, de facto Secretary of War, and Laura Loomer acting as the head of a cabinet department is makes me feel about as safe as Ghislaine Maxwell acting as a babysitter at this point. So, it is really scary, right? That she's doing this. And although I do think this action, preventing Senator Warner from getting an intelligence briefing, that is an act that's about equality. Right? Laura Loomer displays no signs of intelligence, and she thinks no one else should have any either. And I think that's kind of beautiful that we're really bringing fairness back to the White House. But it is terrifying how seriously people in that world take her. And I think it is because, like Evan was saying, that she can act kind of unconstrained and carry out the id of the Republican Party in the shadows.
Well, congressional Democrats are just going to look so weak if they do not raise holy hell over this about cutting off the money for the agency.
But can they? They don't really have
They don't, but they should.
Well, it's another reason for them to shut down the government, right? I mean, we were talking about this earlier in the program.
Exactly,
and if Democrats are looking for a reason to shut down the government, they should be pointing to this example and again saying, if you're going to outsource decision-making to Laura Loomer, you're not going to get any funding.
Well, and if someone who his committee duties mean that he deserves access and to this oversight in order to do his job as the constituents who elected him expected. You got to stop funding the agency. Truman, during World War II, when he was looking into corruption, he would not have taken that.
Well, this gets back to that thing we talked about at the beginning of this. I talked to Catherine Cortez Masto recently, the senator from Nevada, and this is a person who wants to sort of be a moderate Democrat, work together with people. What really surprises her right now is how the whole Senate does not operate as a unit in moments like this, right? Like when the executive branch is overstepping its authority, the expectation of the Senate and the rest of the Congress is going to get information, right? Because Democrats don't really have any real power to do much of anything beyond kind of be in this co-equal branch and expect help from their fellow members of that branch. And they're not getting it right now. So I think the real challenge, right, when you talk about something like the government shutdown, et cetera, is what are Democrats actually going to be able to get out of this? And they have to figure out what it is to get before they can actually go ahead with this fight, right? Because, I mean, it's a very valuable fight to have.
Are any Republicans at all saying, like, what the heck is going on with this lady? I mean, even people who have nothing to lose, technically, like Senator Tom Tillis, like,
well, look,
there's got to be somebody.
This is one of those private-public things, right? In private, even people in the MAGA world will say, I don't know about this person, right? We're not thrilled with this. You see plenty of reports from inside the White House being like, this is it. She's gone. Recently, there was a big story about, like, she's out. It's over. And then we see this Warner story a couple days later. There's a huge tug and pull on whether or not how much power they want to give her. But right now, she has access to the person she needs to have access to, who is Donald Trump. And so as long as that happens, it doesn't really matter what anybody else says.
I'm with you, though. It does feel like there must be someone on the Republican side going, I can't believe this unelected advisor to the president, who is so Islamophobic, so racist, so conspiracy-minded, is having such a say in public policy making and decisions. That's Stephen Miller's job.
Oh, dark. You laugh, but it's a little dark.
It's actually a little true, though. So that's the problem.
Let's switch a little bit, just because if Donald Trump and congressional Republicans thought that it was a bad week for them regarding the Epstein files and the lack of transparency and the chokehold on information, it's about to get a lot worse. We just had Congressman Garcia on about oversight, and they are going to get the birthday book that was Epstein's 50th birthday book, likely as soon as tomorrow. So it's going to become a very bad week, a lot of pressure on Epstein. How do you see Republicans responding when the temperature is going to get really turned up and it's an issue that their base cares about?
It seems like Mike Johnson floated a new theory, right, that Donald Trump was an FBI informant the whole time. And this is the deepest cover any informant has ever been under.
He's a hero.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, Mike Johnson basically was like, QAnon is real. That's the official stance of the House of Representatives.
Right. He wore that hot mic to bust Billy Bush on that bus.
That's right. There's dimensions of chess that the human mind, we don't even have numbers that high for those dimensions of chess.
Go ahead.
Look, the Epstein thing is really fascinating because as of the end of last week, it looked like the administration was doing a pretty good job. You have this effort by Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie to push the Congress to release all these files and do this stuff. And it appeared that actually the Trump administration had really successfully pushed back on it and made this kind of a Democrats thing, right? Originally, this was like, is this splitting Trump's base? Are they fighting amongst themselves? And that kind of went away. But now you talk about things like this birthday book. The first time that landed, the description of it was bad enough. But if we see it, it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for Trump to get away from that.
How do you think you're going to feel when you see the picture that Trump drew of the naked lady?
Oh, it's horrifying, right? There are real people who were hurt, and the people are treating it so glibly and so collaboratively with this horrible person. And that you're a pretty bad criminal when your birthday cards are incriminating. That's wild stuff to me. Keep it out of the birthday cards.
Swear. Keep it clean.
Even Al Capone's birthday cards are just like, happy birthday, Al. Love you, big guy.
I don't doodle for a reason. That's what we don't know.
It's interesting, though, to see the split that has happened within the Republican Party and how many people have kind of fallen in line. Laura Lloyd, kind of bring us back a little bit to Laura Loomer. She attacked Marjorie Taylor Greene for standing in front of, basically a sign that said Donald Trump was a pedophile and all these survivors that were speaking on Capitol Hill. And I think it says a lot how this issue, this single issue, perhaps more than anything else, has created a wedge within the Republican Party and certainly within the MAGA base.
Well, yeah, it's a real test. The political test is this. Do you actually care about what's in these files?
Right.
Or do you care what's in the files about Bill Clinton
Right.
or Hillary Clinton
Or Democrats
or
on that,
whatever,
yeah.
right? Or Democrats or whatever, right? I mean, James O'Keefe had one of his crazy videos
Yes,
the other day
yeah.
where he had somebody
DOJ official or something.
talking about this stuff. And that really is what this is about, right? Trump has successfully sort of said to a lot of people, this is Democratic hoax, they're out to get me.
Did you find that video damning?
The O'Keefe video?
Yeah.
I don't really touch those. I mean, the problem with his videos is that they're edited weird.
Yeah.
He's a liar. It's not a great idea to get involved. But the interesting thing about it from a political
he did it.
perspective is that the DOJ felt that they had to respond.
Yeah.
That this is a thing where actually this is powerful
Well,
enough
that's where we are
within
now in a
that
country.
group.
It's like something happens on the internet and the DOJ puts out a screenshot as an official statement from an iPhone note.
But
Also,
even
that
just
James
like
O'Keefe was trying to get to the bottom of this because he knows the MAGA base cares about it.
Yeah.
That's where I think more so than any alleged content that came out of it, that it is such a focus from the far right.